All right, team, listen up. The goal here is simple. We need to arm you with a winning story for ForaPost. Because we're not just selling another tool, right? We're selling a totally new way for businesses to build their brand online. So let's dive into the narrative that's going to help you close that next deal.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to absolutely shatter that scheduler comparison. Then we'll get into the real magic, the voice learning engine, and show how ForaPost literally becomes part of the team. We'll dig into its muscle for e-commerce, talk about the built-in growth engine, and then wrap it all up with the exact pitch points that put us in a totally different league.
Okay, let's get right into it. The social media tool market, man, it is crowded. Your clients have seen a million schedulers. So our first job, right out of the gate, is to change the conversation and show them that ForaPost isn't just another tool in the toolbox, it's the whole damn workshop. And this is the question you know is coming. So how is this different from Buffer or Hootsuite? We're actually going to lean right into that question because it's the perfect setup. It's our chance to completely reframe how they think about what's even possible. This slide right here, this is the line in the sand. On the left, you've got your generic tools. You know, the ones where the user has to do all the heavy lifting, the writing, the planning, everything. They're just tools for execution. But over on the right, you've got ForaPost. Our AI creates the content. It writes the posts. It functions as an engine for actual strategy. And this quote from our founder, this is your core talking point. It just nails our whole philosophy. We are not a task bot. We are a decision-making AI. And that is a fundamental shift in the value we're offering. Okay, so if our AI is creating all the content, the client's next thought is going to be, well, how does it know how to sound like us? And that's when you introduce the magic, our voice learning engine. The onboarding is brilliant because it's so simple to explain. First, they just connect their social accounts. Easy. Then they upload some of their brand materials. The AI just soaks it all up and analyzes everything. And finally, they fine-tune the voice with a simple thumbs up or thumbs down on some sample posts. That's it. It's that easy. And this is so key. The AI learns from everything the brand has already done. It's not starting from scratch. It reads their entire post history. It looks at what posts got the most engagement. It scans their pitch decks, their website. It even syncs with their e-commerce catalog. It learns their voice by studying the voice they already have. Now we're getting to the most powerful part of the story. ForaPost isn't some static tool that you just set and forget. Not at all. It's a dynamic partner. It's literally the smartest member of their team because it never, ever stops learning. This is huge for building trust and getting that perfect brand fit. Every single time a user tweaks a post before it goes live, our AI doesn't just make the change. It learns the reason behind the change. It's constantly refining and getting smarter. And this little story from our founder just makes it so real. He didn't like the phrase AI-generated content, so he changed it to sound a little softer, more on brand. And the AI, it learned from that very specific, very nuanced correction and adapted its language for the future. It gets more and more dialed in with every single interaction. And for that client who's a bit more technical and wants to know what's under the hood, you can introduce them to the Squad AI. Because behind the scenes, it's not just one AI. It's a whole team of specialists, an analyst studying what works, a strategist planning the calendar, and a creator writing the posts. They're basically getting an entire AI marketing team in one package. Okay, so we've covered the how. Now let's pivot to the what, the real tangible results, especially for e-commerce businesses, because this is where we really shine. This is about driving actual sales. 6. Just let that number hang in the air for a second. What does it mean?
That's the maximum number of posts ForaPost can publish on each platform every single day. For an e-commerce brand that needs to feature new products, announce sales, and just stay top of mind, that kind of consistent, high-quality output is an absolute game changer.
And it's not just about volume, it's about being smart. ForaPost plugs directly into Shopify, WooCommerce, all the big ones. It syncs the entire product catalog, and here's the kicker, it's smart enough to check if an item is out of stock before it posts about it. It will automatically focus on new products, things that are on sale, or items with low stock to create that urgency and drive sales. Next up, let's talk about something that really shows how much we believe in our own product. ForaPost is more than a tool, it's an ecosystem designed to grow, and we actually reward our users for helping us grow it.
We call them subscription credits. It's super simple. When a user refers someone and they become a paying customer, the original user earns credits. These credits automatically knock down the cost of their own Fora-Post bill. And the process is totally seamless. They share a link, a friend signs up, and boom, their next invoice is automatically lower. A happy customer could literally refer a few friends and end up getting their own subscription for free. It's a huge incentive that also fuels our growth. And now we bring it all home. This is the final chapter. This is the part that summarizes exactly why a client has to choose Fora-Post. These are your winning pitch points. I mean, just look at this. When you put us head to head with the competition, it's not even close. Full AI content creation, only us. True brand voice learning, only us. Deep e-commerce and cloud storage sync, again, only us. We're not just a better tool, we're playing a completely different game. So this brings us to your elevator pitch. You need to have this sentence locked and loaded. Fora-Post is the only tool that combines full AI content creation, real brand voice learning, and deep e-commerce integration at a price that small businesses can actually afford. And you end the conversation with this question. It reframes the entire decision. Other tools, they help you check a box. Fora-Post helps you build an identity. This positions you not as someone selling software, but as a strategic partner selling growth. Now, go in.